Game Ball, the ultimate ammunition, providing you with this week's episode of the Tweedl Pod. Hi everybody and welcome back to the Tweedl Podcast. Today I am joined by Rugby royalty, England rugby player and Northampton Saints, Ollie Sleightholme. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for joining us. You've had a good morning down at Eaton Hall. Well, hopefully you've had a good morning. You were taken out by Steve Bramley, the previous owner of Doveridge.
Yeah, no, it was wicked. Obviously, the setup down here is amazing, which helps. And then, had a couple hours shooting, which was lovely, and with my partner Lucy, who we tried to have a little competition, but it didn't go too well. So,
well, I don't know, Luce. I think you did yourself proud. So as you can see, we are sat in one of our Sport Trap houses, which is coming along nicely. Just need it to green up behind us, but we'll get there slowly. So, I'll talk me through it before we go into rugby. Shooting, you've sort of recently taken up the sport, I'd say, in the last couple of years. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I think I started off with I had done a little bit of clay shooting, but then one of the club sponsors, Keith, took us out on a game shoot, and I sort of fallen in love with it really from there.
Yeah,
and
it's hard not to. Man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think once you've done it, you get the bug, and you just want to keep going. So yeah, still waiting for my license to come back, and then it'll be all guns blazing from there.
And now you remember, mate. You know,
exactly.
You've got membership rates. You've got you entered into monthly prize draws. You could even win 500 clays and cartridges here. So long way to continue.
Definitely be back down soon.
100%.
Sure.
So take us back. You've always been at Saints.
Yeah.
Your father, obviously, very good rugby player. We'll come on to that.
Yeah.
But how did you get into it? Always been a winger. What's the crack?
Yeah. Obviously, in it from a young age. Dad never really took me down to rugby. He never really forced it on me. Well, I had a couple of mates that played, which is what made me want to go down and play. I think, from very similar to shooting. First did it and fell in love with it from there, and just wanted to carry on doing it. Obviously, been at Saints my whole life, sort of there from the young age. I think I was probably 12, 13 when you first get into sort of what used to be EPDG, DPP stuff, so like the young academy stuff.
Yeah.
And just
my claim to fame. I had about a week there at Sale Sharks at 13. So now I say to everyone, I was at Sale Sharks Academy.
Just say ex-professional.
Yeah. If you want to open the door for me, you can. But
it's obviously Northampton as a place is very big on its rugby. I think it's one of the main things in the town is the club and how much support it has. And I think you feel that playing for them as a club, and even in the academy, if you still feel that sort of buzz for anything Saints.
100%, and that shines through when you watch it on the TV as well. Like in the Premiership now, there's not loads of clubs with a massive fan base, whereas Saints definitely have that.
Yeah, definitely. You look at the clubs that have massive fan bases. You're looking at your Leicesters, your Tigers, your Northamptons, and your Bath. Really traditional, family-orientated clubs that people love to go to.
Bath especially, like the whole town revolves around that rugby club, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely.
At least it seems that way.
You go to Bath on a Saturday with a home game, and it's a different place.
Yeah, and so 2018, I think, was your Premiership debut.
Yeah.
Scored a try within 15 seconds.
Yes.
Not a bad start, Chief.
No.
And does it still feel normal now? Like, is it like every time you put on the shirt, are you thinking, shit, how the hell have I ended up here?
I think so sometimes, yeah. It's still real surreal, obviously, because growing up wanting to do that as a job, I think it's a privilege to be able to do. And I think, like I tell a lot of people, like if I wasn't playing rugby as a job, I'd be playing it anyway with my mates on a Saturday or a Sunday. So it's just a privilege to be able to do it and get paid to do it. So
definitely. And now it's moved on to bigger heights. You've just had a Six Nations campaign, which sadly ended in a bit of a injury. But talk me through that, because like as a rugby player myself as a kid, my watch is getting stuck. As a rugby player myself as a kid, like the thought of being in the changing room at Twickenham and like watching like the Lions series and like that whole thing, it must just be the most unbelievable feeling. Yeah,
definitely. I think you always, like you all know, growing up watching rugby, you wanna play for your country.
Yeah,
like it's the ultimate goal, and I think it's so surreal getting to run out at Twickenham and pull on the white shirt. I think, and I don't think that'll ever change. I think no matter how many times you do it, you speak to some of the lads that've got 100+ caps. Every time they do it, they still feel that pride and that sort of real surrealness of being there and in that situation. I think it's such a amazing feeling running out of Twickenham for a home game and singing the national anthem in front of 8,000 people.
Yeah, singing the national anthem, shitting yourself or excited?
Bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, I think you're always nervous for those big occasions, especially at, like in that environment. It's just such, you've got so many eyes on you. You've got so much pressure in the sense of you're playing for your country.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. Yeah,
I mean, it takes quite a bit to come down from like the adrenaline rush, doesn't it? I imagine. I suppose though, if you've played 80 minutes, you're pretty knackered. But
well, to be fair, you say that and you can barely sleep after games sometimes.
Yeah,
just
that's what I mean. Yeah, I can imagine.
But, I think one thing I've spoke to a few senior lads about it, and it's I think it probably sort of comes with age being able to do this, but it's trying not to make your highs really high and your lows really low. Trying to keep that emotional sort of adrenaline pretty level no matter what happens. I think when you win, you're up here, and when you lose, you're right down here. That's when you get burnt out pretty quick, and that's when you start to get problems with it, I think.
Yeah, I suppose you just have to take the rough with the smooth.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
You've got to lose some to win some, haven't you?
Exactly, and everyone is trying to beat everyone at the end of the day. If you do get beaten, it's not always on you. One of our things our coaches say is, don't be angry that other teams play well. They can do good stuff. Like, it's not like we're the only ones that are allowed to do good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's world-class players doing world-class things, and sometimes you just got to applaud it.
Yeah, literally. And initiations-wise,
Yeah.
England rugby, good initiation?
It's only a song, so it's not too bad.
What was your song of choice?
Sang, what did I sing? Life is a Highway from Cars.
Give us a bit of a...
Yeah, you're not kidding. It was a terrible rendition of it. So
Was that at Twickenham or...
No,
it was at France, wasn't it?
No, I made my debut in the summer in New Zealand.
Of course you did.
So I actually was singing my song. We did it at the end of the tour. We didn't actually do it after the game. We did it at the end of the tour. So I was singing it at a vineyard on a chair in somewhere on a little island.
Nice setting.
I think it was an island that has a vineyard on it, literally just off the coast of Auckland.
And was it just you that time, or was
there
a couple?
There was quite a few, which was quite funny because I think they hadn't done them they hadn't actually done any of the caps that were in the Six Nations either.
Right.
All the lads that had capped in the previous Six Nations and in the autumn all were singing. So
fair enough.
Yeah, it was quite cool.
And I bet that's a bit different than Northampton, initiation-wise.
So yeah, Northampton's is a little bit different. You still sing a song. Well, Northampton's is very different in the sense that there's an academy initiation, and there's a
senior.
You make your debut, you just sing a song. The academy one's a bit more fun. There's a bit more of a...
Yeah, you can get away with a bit more.
Yeah, you get away with a bit more in the academy there. I think it's normal. I don't know, it's probably changed since I did mine, but it used to be a bottle of wine.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty tame.
It is until everyone just starts spewing in the academy gardens and everywhere. So, yeah. No, it is pretty tame. There is a lot worse that I have heard of. I think the uni ones are probably the worst ones.
Yeah, well, I didn't go to uni, but I think our one at school was bad enough, to be fair.
Yeah. There's some horror stories I've heard.
A few people never came back to school.
Yeah. There's some horror stories from some of the unis that I've heard.
Yeah. It's not always as bad as people think, I suppose. They just have a stigma, don't they, like rugby people?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, to be fair, I always get asked the question, and I'm like, as in the environment we're in, can't get away with it.
No.
Like, the uni and the club sides is where you want to be looking for the dodgy stuff.
Definitely.
Like, that's where the dodgy stuff's going on. Like, if we were to be doing that and it gets caught on camera, that's all hell breaks loose, I think.
Definitely. And so the injury, bad timing, isn't it, mate? Because you've got Leinster coming up.
Yes.
Away.
Yeah.
In the Challenge Cup. I suppose you won't be back for that, will you?
I won't be back for that. No, realistically,
2 weeks away now, is it, roughly?
Yeah, guys. We've got 2 games back in the Prem for the following 2 weeks, and then we're away at Leinster. I probably realistically won't be back this season for club, which is frustrating, but it's the nature of the beast, I think.
I suppose, how many games you got left? 4 or 5? Can't be that many.
Yeah, there won't be that many. There's 2 home games.
Should know this all.
I should do. I just take every week as it comes at the moment. But yeah, there's not long left of the season. You're talking. I think when I first did it, they told me if I was to be back fit, it would be the week of the Prem final.
Right.
So unless we go on a massive winning streak and everyone starts losing, I don't think we're going to get there at this rate. But you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Last year you did.
We did last year.
That must have been quite a day.
Last year was wicked. I think the whole season for me personally and Lucy, having our first daughter born as well. Was it 4 weeks before the Prem final? I think she was born.
Wow.
we obviously started off the season probably not. I personally started off the season with an injury and then probably not playing as well as I should have been. But then sort of came into form sort of middle of the year, back end of the year, and we topped the table.
You literally did just ramp up through the table,
and then got to the top and stayed there and just kept getting better and better. Probably the worst performance of our whole year was the Prem final, but we somehow managed to win.
Yeah,
we were. It was quite funny, really. We sat on the coach on the way back, all celebrating, just talking about how bad.
Who was it against again?
It was against Bath.
Yeah,
and talking about how bad we actually played, and we probably didn't deserve to win, but
oh well.
One of those.
Still got the trophy, Chief.
Exactly, got the trophy, got the medal. So.
And you've got some really exciting prospects playing amongst you at Saints. Who's like the player that you prefer to just feed off in games all the time?
Energy-wise, feeding off the energy, Henry Pollock, he's someone else. He's just so energetic.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
He is.
Every time you open the phone, there's a picture of Henry Pollock. It's like he's taken the world by storm.
Yeah, to
it's good to see a bit of character, though, in the sport.
Oh, 100%. I think you've got to have that, and I think that's one thing that rugby probably needs, people being themselves a bit more, and really opening up to the media and the public, because I think traditionally it's probably been quite a don't show your personality off sort of.
Definitely,
just sort of these are the rules, this is how you should be, do this, do that. Whereas I think if you show yourself off as a person a bit more and stuff like that, then people will engage more. You'll have seen it. People will engage with characters as opposed to just squads. And I think he's
same with everything. Even the stuff we do, I get a bit. Charlie's like, just do some stupid stuff on camera. And I'm like, mate, I can't lie in the middle of a gun room floor with guns all over me to promote a gun competition. She's like, yeah, but it's funny. And it's like, I know, but do you know what I mean? It's the same in everything, but personality screams through. And if you can show a bit of excitingness and make it different. I mean, I take it you don't consult him on his celebrations or...
No, I don't think anyone... I don't know. He just comes out by himself. He's got a lot of ideas, let's put it that way. Yeah, but he's a lot... I get on with him really well, and I think he does get people thinking, you probably see the media and what he's actually like as two very different things.
Yeah.
He's a top lad, and he backs up. He backs everything up.
100%.
And he's an unbelievable player, and I think you've only seen the tip of the iceberg so far.
That try against Sale the other week was just a joke, wasn't it?
Yeah. He just you look at that, for example, and it's like a back row shouldn't be able to do that, but he goes and does it, and he's sort of rewriting the book on what it's like to be a modern back rower.
Finn Smith must be good to play with.
Very good. He's
talented kid.
Yeah, he knows rugby like the back of his hand. He's probably he's easy to play with. He just knows what he's doing. He's always putting you in the right spot, putting you through holes, and I think that speaks for itself as to what happened last year and him coming in and us going and doing what we did. I think he's the glue. Him and Fraser Dingwall, the sort of two players, are the glue for the squad that really hold it together.
Just looks so chilled all the time, doesn't he? Like, it's just second nature to him.
Yeah, he is very relaxed. He can lose it, which is it's actually quite funny when he does, but he wouldn't say the same. But yeah, he's a good lad. He's very composed, and that's what you need at your fly half. At the end of the day, you need him to be composed, and they're the decision maker. They're the one deciding what we're going to do, where we need to be, and stuff like that. So him and the 9 are really, really key roles. And
do any of the other lads shoot?
Rory Hutchinson does. He does. There's a couple of other lads. Tom Pearson, Luke Green. There's a few of us.
Who's the best shot?
Oh, we've actually never really shot together. That's funny. Yeah, we probably should.
You have to maybe.
Yeah, we'll come up and have a competition.
Bring them down to Eton for a bit of a comp.
Have a competition up here. There we go.
Steve will put you right.
Yeah, we'll get that done. Yeah, no, there's a few of us. But yeah, I'm going to say me. Just
why not?
I'm here. They can't say no. So
yeah, perfect.
Say me.
And obviously, Dad used to play for England and Northampton, but Bath as well. Did you say?
Well, yeah. He was
what position was he?
He was a winger as well. He actually started off at Hull Ionians, then went to Wakefield.
No way.
So there you go.
At League?
No, at Union.
Oh right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he was at Bath for God knows, I don't know when he was, but he was playing for England while he was at Bath. Then moved to Northampton, and yeah, we've been there ever since.
Wow. How many caps for England?
Yeah, 12, I think.
Cool.
12 caps for England.
What are you creeping up on now?
I'm 8, so I have my 8th against Italy.
Nearly there?
Yeah, nearly there.
He must be proud, mate.
I think he is, yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to put words in his mouth, but yeah, I think everyone seems to question the tries and how many tries I've got compared to his, and he's he couldn't care less how many he got. He's just
Oh,
he's just so happy with what I'm doing and loves watching. And he didn't cry much, but he did cry at the Prem final. He did cry when I saw him after my first cap.
I can imagine, mate. Like, as a father, it must be so amazing to see your son going out and smashing it like you are.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think becoming a father as well, I look at it from a completely different light now as well. And you think about when my daughter Lyra grows up and how proud I would be of her doing whatever she wants to do, but smashing it and really taking the bull by the horns.
Definitely. And you are a Tweedle customer as well, I believe.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Do you enter the game days, or what's like your?
I haven't so far, only because when I found it and started doing it, there haven't been any on since then.
How did you find it, by the way?
How did I find it?
I
think when I spoke to you guys at first.
Oh yeah.
Back before I went away for the Six Nations, wasn't it?
It was probably end of Jan, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I've obviously found the link through that, I think, and then entered a few since then.
So yeah, we're going to be putting on loads of game days this season,
and be entering those.
Yeah, you get on to a game day a year, don't you?
Yeah, so one of our club sponsors, Keith, takes us on a game day. Once a year. We're at Falkirk Hall over near like Staverton Way in Northampton. So yeah, I think that's sort of where I
partridge, pheasant,
a bit of both.
Yeah.
The first year we did was all just pheasant shoots, pheasant drives. But then the second year we did the first 3 were pheasant, and then the last one was a partridge drive, which was nice.
Can't beat it, mate, can you?
No.
Did you go all out and get all the tweeds and did you?
I try to, yeah. I get dressed in the morning and she comes down and goes, "Right, what are you wearing?"
Black cap, tassels.
It's the socks that get her, I think, more than anything.
The garters.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, I was actually really surprised at how small and fast partridge move.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
I didn't even know there were game birds when I first done it. I was letting them go over my head, and then when someone started shouting at me,
really?
Partridges, I was like, "Oh, right." I thought they were little blackbirds or something flying over.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I stood there for about 2 minutes, not realising what I was doing. But yeah, once you actually realise what they are, it's all right. But I think going from
species identity is quite important in the shooting world, though. So
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Luckily, the first time I ever did it, I had a guy with me because I think I was just pointing my gun at everything that moved, not pulling the trigger, but he's like, no. And then once you learn it, it's a bit easier. But I think at first you just see movement and you're like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
But I think it was more going from only ever shooting pheasant, and I've only done 2 game days. First one, obviously all pheasant. Then the first 3 drives were pheasant. To then see a partridge, they're so much smaller, and it's like you just
like
sort of
little missiles, aren't they?
And they're just like this everywhere, and I'm like, no fun. I can imagine it's a bit like what woodcock are like.
Yeah, well, that's a completely different ball game altogether. Yeah. But yeah, no, you'll have to get on some Tweedle game days, 100%.
I'll have to.
Do you do anything like that with England rugby, apart from golfing? I see you do that quite a bit, but like,
no, we don't. I did a bit of clay shooting for some of their media stuff, but they have to be careful on their channels. I think as to what we do a little bit.
Oh no, I saw that actually. It was on the YouTube, wasn't it?
Yes.
You went.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was an army barracks.
Ah.
Down near Penny Hill Park. I can't actually remember what it was called, but yeah, it was quite good fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to be careful as to.
How do you get selected to be on the Inside Line episodes?
I think they just pick it at random. To be honest. Yeah. I did mention to them because I've been deer stalking a couple of times and love that as well. And I did mention to them whether that would be a good idea, and they probably they said you can't really be skinning and shooting a deer on the England rugby page. So I was like, yeah, that's a fair point. Probably didn't go down too well that.
Well, they should promote it though, mate.
They should. That's what I said.
It's how you fill your freezer.
Exactly. I think for like-minded people, it looks like that, but you get.
Oh yeah, you're asking for.
Yeah, I think as
hatred, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And as the entity they are, they probably can't get away with it as much as they probably would like.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
What is there any like things like any rituals you do before games, like going out for England rugby games?
No, I used to have. I have.
Does he? Lucy's just made.
Yeah, I
a bit.
do. I have. I wear a wristband. I tape my wrist, and I have my Lucy's and Lyra's name on there. So I have that at all times. And I started that.
What, you write it on the tape?
Yes, yeah, with the shot, like write it on with the Sharpie.
Yeah.
I think I probably used to be a lot more superstitious than I was. And I tried to get rid of it all because I think, personally for me, if you have these superstitions and rituals and you for some reason can't do one day, would it really throw you off, or would you be honest? I'd rather just not have them and just be like, I just do everything different every time. And
like you have to drink a certain drink and you couldn't get hold of it on that day.
People, lads that are putting their right boot, right sock on. Yeah, there's a lot of weird ones that people do, but I mean, if it's what gets them ready, I guess it makes sense, but not for me.
And you throw up.
She just told you that. That's a stitch up, isn't it? Yeah, I also throw up before every game. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I don't know.
To be fair, I've done that quite a bit back in the day.
Yeah, I think it probably started off as a nerves thing. And now it's just weirdly become a habit, which I can't get rid of.
Like, how soon are we talking? Like, in the changing room?
Like, I'm walking back in from the warm-up, and I'm starting to, like feel it and starting to gag, and it's a bit of a race sometimes to get to the toilet or the bin.
Really?
The lads at Northampton hate it, because I do it right in the middle of the change room in a bin. Luckily, at Twickenham, there isn't a bin. There's a toilet, so I go in the toilet. But I think some of the lads hate it.
So without fail,
without fail. It's almost become a habit.
Right.
I've done. Finn Smith actually doesn't mind it. He says it tells me, it lets him know that I'm ready to play. So I was like, yeah, right. That's what lets you know. Then sweet, but yeah, it was. Definitely started off with nerves, and I think progressed from there into a habit, which is probably not great. But
no, listen, it all happens to the best of us, I suppose.
Exactly.
Were you like that this morning before going out with Steve?
Yeah, no, I did it actually quickly before we had our shoot off.
Did you? Didn't work though, Chief.
No, it didn't. There we go. One leg, everyone.
yeah. If you are going to watch the Eaton Hall YouTube, guys, we are going to leave it in, because I am now cock of the layout after being defeated every single time. But I beat Ollie with one leg, so over the moon about that.
Happy days.
Well, listen, mate. Congratulations on your career. You're absolutely
much.
Flying, and it's a pleasure to watch. The grubber kicks are especially a great touch. And, good luck with everything in the future, and thanks for coming down to Eaton Hall Shooting.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
And good luck winning the Land Rover Defender on Tweedle.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plan.
Cheers, all.
Cheers, bud.